Pablo Escobar, Al Capone, El Chapo, John Gotti, and others all had one thing in common. Their wealth, accumulated through the distribution of narcotics to other countries, ended up in the hands of governments. The people did not get richer, but they were influenced. But what good did these criminals bring to other people and to themselves? To answer that question, we should first define what is going on in their minds. Everything is dark in there. It is filled with unimaginable rage to become someone through a different route than others. Some have an egoistic soul, others have envy, and some do it out of hope. Emotion is what makes a man crazy and uncontrolled. But can you blame a kid who suffered and experienced pain from a young age? So to really define a criminal, you should look at him from two perspectives. The perspective of an objective analyzer. The perspective of a child looking at the world. Why this second perspective? Because who else sees the world more peacefully than a child? A child always tries to find a reason behind someone's evilness, even if that evilness is harmful. The reasons for someone becoming evil in this sense are different. Therefore, we should blame the system that allows individuals to seek power in an evil way, just because otherwise they would die hungry and their families would be judged and discriminated against. The first at fault is the way this reality is structured. Not everyone wins. Not everyone is happy. Not everyone is raised properly. Not everyone gets educated properly. Not everyone becomes famous or receives praise. No. Some suffer in the need of the simplest utilities, judged since the first day. The question that arises is, how do we classify criminals? Firstly, I classify them into two groups. Those who do it out of need, those who do it out of greed for power. But I also have another classification. Criminals who harm the people, and criminals who harm the government. The first group consists of the ones I have spoken about until now. The second one is more complicated. The second group includes the men who fight for the cause of the people, for freedom, for change, for a different reality, for revolution. They are labeled as criminals and placed in the same category as the others, just to degrade their profile and make their message unpopular, while idiots with TikToks are called influencers. The first group destroys society. They popularize crime and shamelessness. Every action of theirs is against the moral code. Every narcotic shipment, every theft, every weapon, every killing contributes to the degradation of society. What happens when society is degraded? If people are drugged and financially unstable, who will stand up to the government? And if they think about rebelling, the government acts by putting criminals in prison. It is crazy how disgustingly they use and manipulate criminals to shape the reality they want. What's funny is that when they catch those criminals, everything is flashed quickly in the media as propaganda to glorify the police forces and the brutality of the state. Just as a reminder, you could say that this group is mostly composed of those who commit crime out of greed for power, but end up more controlled than ever. The second group. Now that one is interesting. Spartacus led a slave uprising against Rome. Rome called him and his followers criminals and fugitives. The Irish Republican Army fought against British rule for Irish independence. The British government considered them terrorists, while many Irish saw them as freedom fighters. The Algerian National Liberation Front rebelled against French colonial rule. France labeled them criminals and terrorists. Fidel Castro attacked the Moncada barracks against Batista's government and was sentenced for rebellion before later seizing power. Gaddafi, etc. What one government calls a criminal, history sometimes calls a revolutionary or freedom fighter. It depends on perspective, politics, and whoever ends up writing the history.